Yeah, I had been doing this, taking hits all my life. Back in my heyday, I made it through the ranks. Russell, he found me when I was super young. He taught me what it was to be a mobster. But now, I'm the only one left. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared, here with a streaming a little bit early of a movie review. Anyways, Netflix, Martin Scorsese, all of this de-aging technology, De Niro, Pesci, Al Pacino. I was able to check out the new Irishman movie a little bit early. In the 1950s, a young truck driver gets involved with the Pennsylvania crime family, climbs the ranks, and winds up working with the one and only Jimmy Hoffa. So does the Irishman have Best Picture on lock? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you guys thought of The Irishman and if you were able to make it through this very long runtime. Now let's get into some of the good. I had been hearing phenomenal things about this Irishman movie. I mean, it's a very epic, very long movie, 3.5 hours. But what Scorsese does here with all of the actors in this movie, you know, Pesci, Al Pacino, De Niro, a whole bunch, even Romano's in there. I'll get into all of that later. But the story that he crafted is one heck of an epic tale. It's 3.5 hours, but man, not a second is wasted. It's this sprawling story of almost this, I wouldn't say underdog, but this person that almost gets brought in under their wing and then rises through the ranks and then meets with these other people. It's very much this in-your-face mob movie, you know, tackling certain parts of history, maybe turning things a little bit more. But it is such an interesting film from beginning to end. And not only is that the story aspects of it very interesting, but it's the performances that really drive this mob story that Scorsese is trying to tell. I mean, Robert De Niro, Pesci, Al Pacino, these three are sort of your main characters. I mean, De Niro is probably the main through line of this movie, but each of them turns in such a perfect performance. I mean, De Niro is very much almost this subdued character, you know, learning the ropes from everyone. He gets scared because he's making mistakes earlier on in life, but then eventually becomes this feared, essentially, hitman. Pesci is this very subdued but threatening man. You do not want to mess with him. And then Al Pacino, in his previous roles, you know, lately he's been really over the top, like, ha, okay. This one, though, him as Jimmy Hoffa, feels like it's, again, a little bit more subdued when the character is being emotional and needs to go over the top. Al Pacino perfectly turns that performance in. Even other side characters, too. Romano is in this. Sebastian Maniscalco, I don't know, I can't pronounce his last name, and a few other, essentially, people you've seen in other mob Italian movies. Each of their performances phenomenal in this movie, and the performances, the story, and even as this story progresses through the time eras, the attention to detail from the clothing styles to the geographical, that the cities that they're in, because this movie is sort of all over the place, you know, New Jersey, New York, Chicago, Pennsylvania, I believe. It does a very good job of structure for the story because it's jumping back and forth between present time, previous, and jumping to all of these different locations. So everything is crafted in this great way that if you are paying attention, because 3.5 hours is hard to retain your attention, you know exactly where this movie is going, you know exactly what's happening, and you know exactly what time period. And looking at the tone, I mean, it's very much this serious mob movie that Scorsese was going for, but he does slip in humor every now and then because there's a lot of characters that are introduced and little, like, kind of funny blurbs about them pop up. So it's very funny. Like, Scorsese is very much leaning into the humor in this movie. But the one aspect that I know everyone was talking about is this special effects in this movie because of the de-aging, because the three main characters, Pacino, De Niro, and Pesci, they're older. And the de-aging technology and the makeup and the special effects that they used, you cannot tell anything at all. They look phenomenal. They look the age appropriateness that they need to be. And as the story progresses, you know, jumping forward, jumping backward, the special effects and stuff, none of that was distracting from my theater experience. So I think that the amount of money that Netflix shelled out for this film was well worth the money. But diving back into the special effects and the de-aging, you can't tell from the special effects just looking at the face. Looks phenomenal in this movie. There is one scene, however, that you can tell that it's supposed to be a younger De Niro basically kicking someone's ass. But you can tell that the movements from the body, it is very much an older De Niro roughing up of the character. So I think that there's only one instance out of this 3.5 hours that you can tell that it's obviously an older man playing this young man. Otherwise, it's phenomenal. Another little tiny thing is you need to pay attention to this movie. There is a lot of characters, a lot of names, a lot of people in this movie that there's a little something happening over here that affects these people, and there's a lot of characters thrown at you, so just pay attention in this movie. Overall, The Irishman is a cinematic feat, and if Scorsese and Netflix end up winning Best Picture, this is a huge win for Netflix. With it featuring this gritty mob story, some of the best performances, and cutting-edge special effects, but with one scene being a little bit taking you out of the film and needing to really pay attention because of all of the different characters, I would highly recommend checking out The Irishman. Again, this comes out in, I think, 3 or 4 days, depending on when I post this, on Netflix. It's a long movie, but definitely turn it on, turn off the lights, turn up the sound, and turn your phone off because you're going to thoroughly enjoy this mob epic film. In closing, I'm going to give The Irishman 4.5 out of 5 Mafia hits. So what did you guys think of The Irishman if you were able to check it out? I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there, movie reviews, trailer reactions, fun comedy skits. I don't know specifically what's coming this week, Queen and Slim, I believe, and potentially The Report, so stay tuned for all of that. Follow all of my social media, click that subscribe button to keep you up to date on this channel's newest video. Like this out, share it. Thank you so much. Until next time, I'll see you later.